Hi guys, well sorry for the delay. As you can see I was just, it took a little bit of time to load up as X-Plane does. I thought I'd started early enough but clearly I hadn't. I normally give myself about 15 minutes to get going, restart the PC, restart the server, and it just wasn't quite enough. And I then ended up getting held up trying to sort OBS, which seems to be okay now. I'll take OBS being bad under advisement, but hey, it's lightweight and it does the job, and it used to work pretty flawlessly, so there's probably an element of error 40 involved somewhere. But here we are, back at Dublin, back in Ryanair, and back with Giruka. And as you may have seen from the chat, hello Entity, thank you for the heads up. You actually managed to say that it was released just as I was about to double check the drive for the last time before I fired everything up. Hello Rick, good to see you. Oh, okay, I get it now. Right, so OBS is pretty good. Hey, it gets me onto the YouTube. So yeah, this is the full version now, updated using the updater downloaded from the drive. One tick off of the quota, so that will help the queries. And here we are, ready to give it a go. So I have started up Smart Cars at 07. Okay, right, it's just format, so. Right, that's not Zulu. So 41 is what we have to wait for, so that'll be good for us. It's a little bit cloudy here in Dublin. We've got some decent frames. SAM I still have disabled, but I think this one uses AutoGate anyway. Xpilot appears to be looking okay, although I have heard that there have been some TCAS teething issues, so we might see that on the way down. And we're off to Gatwick. I know it's not Wednesday, and we'll probably go to Gatwick tomorrow as well, but I wanted to do a short trip, and I couldn't really think of anywhere else. Manchester was online, but it's a little bit of a short sector. I know this is relatively short. A lot of this is just cruising down the London TMA at 15,000 feet, so nothing particularly special there. But I thought it's a route we're pretty familiar with, and we'll just head down there and see what's going on. And there was some coverage. There wasn't a huge amount of VATSIM coverage to choose from. So, without further ado, here we are, stand 122. Let's hop into the jet and get going. As you can see, frames are doing pretty good. I'll turn that off. I might check it every now and then, and I'll just double check that we have got Vulkan on. We must have. I don't know if this pauses the sim, it doesn't, so there you go. As always, you can see the graphics settings that I use there. So, this is literally cold and dark as I found it, so I just like to get the panel lights turned up before I turn everything on. I might have to check the settings for this one, because obviously the yoke was shown. So let's just jump into this. We've got 25 minutes. Kilos, Barrow, looks alright. It is yoke shown. Okay, never mind. That's just the one thing. Anyway, while the chock's not on. Maybe this is just due to popping a new version on, but whatever. Let's have a look. I'm not too fussed about realism, etc. Chocks on startup I want on. Different nose wheel on. Noise lock. Actually going to pop on one just because I've been throttle disarm. Just see how we get on with that. I haven't been through. Right, good. So controls are up and running. Oh, okay, so it's actually even better. Well, that's tons better. I haven't actually looked into the TCAS stuff, but I think I know Zibo used a different method of getting it to work. But hey, I mean, he got it to work, and if X-Plane is going to support it natively and it's going to be even better still, then happy days. I certainly can't see anything wrong with that. I thought there was ATC coverage here at Dublin. There is. Tower. Somebody monitoring tower. Grand, as they say. So what was I doing? I was looking at payload. So there we go, let's do that from here. Hopefully this will match up. We have got 179 packs, almost a full house. Is the layout incorrect? That's on this tab as well, isn't it? Yes, it is. So we are 189. That's interesting that that got reset as well. So interesting, just a few of these have gone a bit odd. So 179. Yes. Bump. What do we want? Let's put 823 at the front and 2 tons at the back and see how we get on. I do think it's interesting, isn't it? You know what? It's only fuel efficiency. Let's leave it like that. The front hold is the easier one to get to, I am told. Fuel-wise, we've got 2268 on board, and we need 5.2. So let's request that. We've got no additional, and our alternate is Stansted. So because there's no event tonight, I'm not expecting it to be unnecessarily busy with any spectacular holds. We've got a little bit of a contingency, and we'll just have to keep an eye on the fuel if we do get any delays en route. And we've got 15 minutes taxi, which we'll probably use here, which is a bit more accurate. So let's outside. There is the man from Shell disappearing fuel hose. Anyway, quick and dirty setup so battery can come on. As you see, exit lights come on. That was just my control stuck forward. Position and strobe are on steady. AC power, ground power's on, and that's not flickering about. Let's get the RSs aligning. There they go, fuel damper can come on so I don't forget it. Crossfeed, open, bright. Dim, close, bright. Off, pumps can stay off. Scroll through, cabin util LIFFY, we're on. Go through all of these, igniters right, diff pressure 0. Pumps can come on. Now, as these should work correctly, we can power test the overheat, pop them on. Should they go out? Well, they should. Let's see. Outside view. Oh gosh. Sorry guys. I did. So all I've done is clicked on OBS there, and that has changed. Let me just change the view. Window capture. Right. Sorry. Sorry. Let me just see. Why is it doing that? Oh, it's good. So in reality, I use the three errors rule, right? So if I'm going flying for real, if a couple of bad things happen, like OBS breaking, once I get to 3, I can it. That's it for the day. It's just not going well. I'm not going to do it for this, but that is what I use. So let's see. So if I use game capture, it's not bringing up any full screen application, which it should be doing. If I change it to any window and put X-plane, it's also not working. So that's also no good. And if I use the display capture, which I might have to do, then I think you end up seeing every time I click away from this, the screen will go black. So transition to display. It's really badly aliased there. Now I've clicked on the screen. Has it gone does the screen go black for you guys? On the output it looks like it does. And that's less than ideal because I'm clicking between windows all the time. Gosh. I'm going to have to apologise because I think that's possibly the best I can do. Game mode was working last time, so I don't know why it isn't now. Game capture. And I'm probably missing something really obvious, but it doesn't even show up in the preview. So any full screen application, X-Plane is running in full screen. It starts off really small if you transform it. Nothing. Now that worked last time. Why is it not working now? Tips would be ideal. It's not picking up any other. For some reason I can't even pick up any of the other windows. So unless you guys know any settings for display capture that might stop it doing that little skip. I tell you what, full screen projector source. Do I just have to... No, that hasn't worked either. Oh, I like the metaphor. Yeah, it could well be. Although, I mean, it can't be as bad as hand flying into Amsterdam. Oh dear. Dear, oh dear. Right, OBS is not playing. Uh-oh. Now I can't see anything. I've managed to blank both my screens. Right, display capture. You guys can probably see Xpilot and everything there now. Okay, maybe you can't. So why was that working there? But I can't I can't see my screen. Great. Right, that's the full screen. Right, I've got my PC back. I've honestly never had this issue before. Ever since reinstalled Windows, OBS has not been playing. So I mean, I can get the display capture back, but I just can't get the game back. Right, sorry guys. I think you're just going to have to. Well, I'm going to apologise and say there's just going to be skips every time I click off screen, and I will try my best not to do that as much as I can. Oh, it says starting to lie already. Right, anyway, let's get the aeroplane set up. We should have our requested amount of fuel. 2610. 2610, so we've got 5220 on board, and I'm going to play around with OBS. I'm going to on the OFP. I'm writing OBS at the top lots of exclamation marks, so I can sort that out. Like I said, I've never had such a problem before. Anyway, back onto the upper overhead, because I got to about here before I got distracted. Set the trim air, put the packs on, leave the APU bleed off, and our cruise is 350. Gatwick, page 3, 200 feet. And Stansted, 350 is our alternate. The upper overhead done, the departures at Dublin, 9-0. Not sure what runway they're using yet. I'll have a look in a minute. We have got hydraulic pressure, windbreak RTO, radio's set, squawk is set and unassigned. So let's hop into the FMC. Sides AIRAC until Thursday. So technically that data is valid until 23:59 tomorrow. AIRAC Thursday. So we are at Echo India Delta Whiskey. Still on stand at 122. GPS into the IRS position. That's come alive. Flight directors on, you'll be able to click on master my side, just because I've got hardware switches. And we are off to Echo Golf Kilo Kilo. Resurrecting Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray. And I don't quite fancy popping that route in. Don't fancy typing it in anyway, so it's been exported. Off to LIFFY, Quebec 36 EPOXI, Lima 15, KEPAD, Lima 51 to KIDLI. So assuming we leave runway 28, it will be LIFFY 5 Alpha, not. It'll be, I think it's 2 Echo the other way. So, happy with the route. Distance 281. Okay, a little bit short on the distance, but then we haven't got the arrival in. But it's within an order of magnitude, 281 on there and 318 on the flight plan. Performance. See what we've got versus what we planned for. Bingo. Weights work out perfectly. So that's just sim brief and the weight set in the mod matching up, which for some of the other liveries I'm not quite sure why it doesn't. As we said, we have got 5.2. Our trip and taxi 2755. Let's call that 2.8 planned fuel. Reserves 2.3, round up to 2.4, round up to 2.5. That gives us a couple of minutes morning. It's index 6, haven't typed that in for a while. 350 is our cruise. That is written there, no step climb. And wind 26, minor at 40, so we've got a little bit of kick on the way. And -2 on the ISA. So we'll do the takeoff performance in just a little bit. What I am going to do is see if I can get the ATIS 124.525. What's gone wrong with this? Okay, that's just, sorry, that was just smart cars. I haven't seen it notify on the taskbar before, certainly not during flight, and all it was doing was just saying that something had changed, so I will ignore that. I thought it might have crashed or needed restarting or something, knowing my luck. So 525, excellent. Happy, so slightly shorter taxi. And the QNH is 1020, not synced with this one, don't worry, I can remember to do that. Oh no, I am going to set it for the other side. I don't mind doing the standby because of course you have to in the one. No, it's not there. General config. Yes, there it is. Pilot QNH minimum sync with the captain side. Captain side for that. Fine. Save. Good. Let's get the pretend punters on board. All frustrated and a little bit late. So, runway 10, we're going to expect, I think it was LIFFY 2 Echo. I'm just on the airport charts at the moment. Airport takeoff, parking stands, and then let's have a look at LIFFY. It is, oh no sorry, it isn't the short taxi, is it? Because we're runway 10, so LIFFY 2 Echo. And we'll see, because of that taxi, and, have a look at performance for the intersections. So I've got the takeoff minimums. Refresh the weather 17. Looking at the different 110 at 7. That's fine. 10k. 15 minutes of fuel. Yeah, that's going to be roughly correct. So 2637, takeoff run available. 2637 it is. Now Sierra 6, we usually can take. Sierra 5 is possible, but unusual. So performance 2228. So I'm gonna pop in 2156 to give us what we need for Sierra 6. Okay, so that gives us 22k plus 30. With flap 5, stop margin of 34 meters. V1 of 139. Rotate 139, and V2 144. If I then take that out, get for a full length departure 22k plus 34, and then takes us 2228 with 140, 140, and V2 still 144. So our assumed temp limit is 34. Dry runway, it'll be flap 5, 22k for either, and it'll either be 30, I think I'll just go for 30 anyway, it's not going to make a huge amount of difference and it just saves us the effort. Yeah, good, so that's the performance done. I don't think I've missed anything off that. God, it's gone, sorry. Right, so let's tube tower. Right, 1186 it is. And then departure should be 12975. So I might as well tune that now. Dublin Tower, good evening, Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray. Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray, 737-800, stand 122. Information Bravo, QNH 1020. Request departure clearance to Gatwick, please. Clear to Gatwick, Liffey 2 Echo, runway 10, squawk 6655, departure frequency 129.175, Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray. Wilco Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray. Apologies guys, in all of that disaster, I managed to leave that on mute. So you see what I mean about when you have one problem, you end up with another, and then another, and then another, because you've sort of your capacity has been sapped at every little stage. It's just time to go home at that point. But anyway, it's only virtual packs that are going to die, and or my pride. So blame it on having a beer with dinner. Maybe I should have saved that till afterwards. Blame it on that. So, runway 10, let's get the chart up, because I don't think you guys need to see the OFP anymore. Got your own, of course. Look these up. So, airport charts, I have used the takeoff minimums there for the declared distances for runway 10 for our takeoff runs for an intersection departure. And as you can see there, runway 10, we can accept Sierra 6. And like I said before, the heavies will want to go down there, so it's easier to get the little guys out of the way, if possible. Especially because if we're behind them, and we've got wake turbulence to worry about. And that's right. So there hasn't been a VATSIM response. So I've put the audio back on, so you should hear it. Or at least if there has been any radio traffic, there hasn't. Right, departure Liffey to Echo. There we go. So from this, I'm going to need Dublin 1149. And of course this is an RNAV departure, so this is effectively an overlay. We're just using the radio aids as a backup. 296. Check. 1, 2. So runway heading and then 098. Correction 099, you can't quite see that. We have been cleared. Nav aids are set, there is nothing there. The MSAs are off the Dublin VOR. So that was one thing I didn't do. Thought I'd forgotten something. Was MFRA, so 1300. That's definitely me done with performance. So, like we said, it's going to be 22k. The max is 3.4, but it's going to be 3.0, which is bang on, so I'm not even sure. Anyway, it is what it is. It is on there. It's going to be a flap 5 departure. Set the trim now to 6 units. The wind we had was 1007. From the charts as well, you will see that it is adaptor 2, which is accelerator 3. Thrust reduction could technically climb, could be made at 800. Dublin specify 15 and 3. So we're a little bit out. 39139 and then 146. I'm going to take what's been calculated, 144. And it's runway 10. The only Liffey departure. Legs 650 direct to Delta Whiskey, as you can see on here, 551. Is radial 100 outbound from Collinstown, 7 DME, above 3000, yes, and then direct Liffey. Happy? Checked. Let's see why we might have that. Well, we're not. So that's still that little bug that keeps popping up. Anyway, there's our set. Get the punters sat down. Oh, it's not the didn't even twig that it wasn't the Ryanair music. Get the APU started.
We cannot leave the gate until all carrying items are properly put away. All overhead bins are closed and all passengers are seated.
Where is it? Thought it was in here. Announcement says yes, auto it isn't.
South American Air Delta 1, Ryanair.
There we go. Save. Right, we're not going to pre-plan the pushback because I'm not sure it might give us it's unlikely, but it might give us a different direction. FRA set. The ones are both on. Let's get rid of that one. Get the APU bleed on. We have duct pressure, which is good. We have electrical power.
Contact Dublin ground frequency 121 decimal 8.
We've been here so long.
122 new airborne frequency after departure, contact Dublin 129 decimal 175. And Ryanair 122 surface at 110 degrees.
I will just switch anyway, I'm sure they won't mind. QNH is set. So, let's get the doors shut.
Hey Captain, let me know where you want this thing.
Let's
Great
get
news,
connected
Captain,
first.
your tow's coming.
Squawk is set. And then once we are connected, we'll give them a call, ready to go. So I guess you guys, you should be able to hear it. It looked like it was coming out on the audio mixer.
All right, looks like the doors and hatches are closed and we're ready to connect.
Right, let's have Delta X-ray readability 5. I thought it was funny to not say anything back. Right, well, we are good to go. Right, let's have Delta X-ray stand 122 QNH 1020, request push and start. Push and start approved QNH 1020, right, let's have Delta X-ray. Good, so he hasn't said which way to go. Let's get the cabin secure. So,
Hey, Captain,
It's
let me know where
requested.
you want this thing.
That was a bit broken. Can you say that again, please?
tug release point is a little bit further forward, but
Contact double control.
Welcome aboard, Captain. Toes connected, bypass pins inserted. Go ahead and kill the parking brake when you're ready to
kicks
go.
off.
Here comes the pushback. Light them up.
Notional 3, Uniform Charlie, what was your request again, please?
There we go. 1956.
Notional 3.
And we've got
Notional 3, Uniform Charlie, sorry, your steps on there, you just repeat, please. Notional 3, Uniform Charlie, clear to Oslo, road 10, 6, Echo departure, level 0, 6612, frequency when airborne is double control, 12975.
so packs off. Start engine number 2. There's the oil pressure registering. 25% or max motoring. Fuel on.
Dublin ground, good evening, easy 471, vacated 02. Easy 471, good evening, continue straight ahead, whiskey 1, ultra runway 16. Whiskey 1, hold short 16, easy 1. Okay, that's 254, just check the message that I sent you down there, yeah.
So I think
Just about done here. Go ahead and set your parking brake.
brake set. And engine number
And
2
we're
is
disconnecting the
looking
tow. Give me just a moment.
4, 6 and 3 stable. Just wait a couple of moments before starting engine number 1. Try and do our best for the environment and the company. Minimise the fuel usage. So let's get disconnected. Stable engine 2, start engine number 1. And if you haven't been watching before, I do have a couple of hardware switches that I've got mapped so I can set the flight switches to ground without having to look at them. Same with the fuel, oil pressure,
And we're disconnected. Signal and pin on the right. Take it easy and have a safe
5%
flight.
fuel on. Truck driver's on his way.
Force 1, cross level 634, link 4, and stand 203. Link 4, stand 203 after crossing 16, 4,
There's the pin. Not sure I heard the stars cut out again, but I've got headphones on and it's coming out the speakers. But we've got 1, 2, 4, 6 and 3, 2 stable engines. So before taxi flow, we've seen the pin, flap 5. Okay, flying controls, full forward, full aft, full left, full right, left rudder, right rudder. Trim 6 and 6. Recalls checked before taxi. Checklist. It's interesting. I've seen quite a few videos on Facebook recently of people doing their flights, and I appreciate that I don't do the before start checklist, but certainly the vitals from the before taxi I do run through, and it's interesting how many people don't do that and then the things that they miss from it. So generators on, i.e. there are no lights. EPU is off. Start switches both set continuous. Anti-ice not required. Probe heat's on. Air conditioning, PAX auto. Leads on. isolation valve, auto, flaps, 5 required here, 5 set, green light, stab trim, 6 required, 6 units set. Start levers, don't know why we check them, but they are on. Flight controls checked, recalls checked, are ready to taxi. Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray, stand 122, request taxi.
Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray taxi, link 5, Papa 1, hold short, runway 1634.
Link 5, Papa 1, hold short 1634, Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray. So clear taxi, lights on. Clear left, clear right. So squeeze of power, just make sure we don't roll brakes off. Configs checked. And a squeeze of power to get us going. 10 knots on the pan. So link 5 is straight ahead. As I've said before, just come to the intersections and it's not the first left but the second, because it's sort of slightly left over here, so this is the taxi line we want to follow, which you can figure out from the charts.
Easy force and one, shut down, have a good one, bye bye. See you later.
Hello. Shuttle. So we've not been cleared to cross.
Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray, enter left backtrack, runway 1634, give way to Zibo, 738 on your crossing, whiskey 1.
Okay, enter left backtrack 1634 and give way to the 738 crossing, which I'm visual with KLM. Correction, Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray.
Approaching.
Habits you get
3,
into.
4.
So he wants us to backtrack. Maybe to keep us away from him. Have given way.
On runway 163,100
Down
feet
to Alpha
remaining.
Sierra. Well, I guess he doesn't want us to turn here on, what's that going to be, Whiskey 2?
Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray, hold short, runway 28 and contact tower 18675.
Hold short 28 and over to tower, okay, Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray, thanks. Okay, that's interesting. Has there been a runway change that nobody's told us about? Tower, good evening again, Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray.
Ryanair 900 Tango, surface 10, correction 110 degrees 7 knots, runway 10, clear to land. Clear to land, runway 109, Ryanair 900 Tango.
There hasn't been. So did ground have a cognitive failure? Not going to do is go too far down. Alpha would be ideal.
And we were trying to see that Foxtrot, just move forward slightly. If you're still here. And Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray, hold position and contact ground again 121.8.
Yeah, I think he was taking us to 28. I'll have a word. Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray.
Get up 254, sorry, still have a flight plan for you, so I can't issue you again too.
Got issues with people not filing flight plans, so you know what I mean about how many things have gone wrong now. Ground Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray back with you from tower. I think they want us going to runway 10, so we've held short of Sierra.
Yeah, Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray, apologies, that was a cock up on my part. You can take it left on Bravo 2 and left up the Foxtrot, please hold short link 4 with that.
Okay, no worries. We'll do left Bravo 2 up the Foxtrots, hold short link 4, Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray. Oh great, we've got to do a U-turn. That's less than ideal.
No, shuttle 3 and 4, Charlie taxi, whiskey 2, Sierra, hold short runway 10. Whiskey 2, 5 Juliet Fox, cross runway 1634, link 4, and
So, welcome to a magical mystery tour of Dublin, guys. Oh, he said Bravo 2 and I went on Alpha. You know what? Never mind. Oh, that was some nice lighting. I liked that. Right, 10 knots doesn't apply if it's less than 90 degrees, which it was. I want us Whiskey 2. Hold short link 4. On the right.
Tango, good evening, continuous 1 Ultra Mile 1634. Whiskey 1 Ultra 1634, Brandon, Tango.
So here is link 4, which is our hold short.
Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray, link 4, taxi, Mike 1, hold short, Mile 1634.
Link 4, Mike 1, hold short 1634. Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray.
Ryanair 9 onto Tango, cleared across, Mile 1634, getting way to the Ryanair 737800 at Hotel 1. Taxi your discretion, stand 124. Cross 1634, give way to the Ryanair, straight ahead above stand 124. Ryanair 9 onto Tango, thanks for logging out, bye. Door shuttle 3 at Charlie, contact tower, we'll make that 6 today. We're just on our, and K-Net 254 has that crazy standby.
Right, Mike 1. Yeah, right one. Brake set. Dying of old age. This is going to look great on the map afterwards.
Right, send out the X-ray cross 1634, Whiskey 2, Sierra, and
Ross 1634, Whiskey 2, Sierra, hold short 10, Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray, thanks. It was pretty quiet. I'm sure we could have just done a right.
Approaching.
Oh no,
3,
he did have someone
4.
vacating, didn't he? Oh, they should have been vacating earlier. Oh, that wouldn't have been an issue. So if we'd gone down, let's just get the chart up. Not that I'm criticising at all. I should have questioned him. That's just a message with an apology. I don't mind. So that's the first ever mistake I've ever made, which is cool. So I think we could have been given a right along here, and then any vacating traffic should hold short of Sierra anyway. And certainly should hold short when we're in the way, unless there was anything coming down. And I know there was landing traffic, but we'd have been well out of the way then. Anyway, it is what it is. Sorry guys, I've just switched round. Tower 118.6, thanks very much for the service, have a great night. Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray. Tower, good evening, Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray, with you again.
Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray, hello again, taxi Sierra, Sierra 7, hold short when we want to.
Taxi Sierra, hold short 10, Sierra 7, we can accept Sierra 6 intersection.
Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray, roger, taxi Sierra, Sierra 6, hold short when we want to.
Taxi Sierra, Sierra 6, hold short 10, Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray. Oh, so... we might as well nav LNAV test it out. Let's get the cabin secure. I doubt we'll get off before the one in front. Yeah, there he is, he's at the end.
Okay, the cabin is secured. Have a good flight.
Good. So what used to be Bravo 6? I don't know, but what we're not going to do is go for Bravo or Echo 6, whatever it used to be, because they renumbered them, and that is wrong. Oh, this will work out quite well. just in time. Time it right. Get some wiggle on. Some of the CSLs are quite good. I guess it's if the aircraft have got the right data for the right lights. You saw the Speedbird that only had the taxi lights on was quite good. So it is the second one down here. And you can see Echo 6, that's it. That's the one we don't want to take. We want to take it. It used to be Echo 7. But now it's Sierra 6. Which is somewhat confusing.
Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray via Sierra 6, line up runway 10 and wait.
By Sierra 6, line up runway 10 and wait. Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray. So, clear line up. Lights. Camera. So, V2 665. Pulse checked. Cabin secure. Must not take off.
Approaching 10.
That is interesting, we aren't seeing any contacts. Oh well.
Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray surface 110 degrees 7 knots, runway 10 clear to take off.
Clear takeoff runway 10, Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray. It's going to be 19.
On runway 10.
19, 13, 2500, 2510. We wasted quite a bit of fuel there. Power. Brake runway. 40% stable. Power. Toga. Time. Water pressure on the controls. Then rudder to keep the aeroplane straight. Shouldn't be much of a crosswind. 80 knots. Checked. Neutralise the controls.
V1.
And off the throttle. Rotate. Bring the nose up.
Positive 3.
Okay, gear up. That seemed to take a lot longer. Needed a lot of back pressure. Anyway, onto the flight directors. 400 feet LNAV. Let's go command A early. Get the V-tracks up.
1000.
Where's the jet going? Quite runway heading. Sure I didn't drift off that much. Ortho's still looking good. The valves are looking pretty good. Frame rates are pretty solid. So there's the aeroplane bugged up. Steady to get the nose down. Greater than V2 plus 20. Positive trend vector, flap 1. That keeps us nicely out of that yellow arc. Passing flap 1. Flap up. Passing flap up, flaps are up. Brake off, flaps up, no lights, gear up and off. Start switches, temperature's good, we're not going to get any icing. Continuous, 4 pumps. Airplane is pressurizing. Bumpy, it's the crew. Overshot the turn, in my opinion, a little bit there. Promoter to the line. So that was a fly over waypoint. rather than a flyby Delta Whiskey 551 on the chart. Okay, you can see it's got a ring around it, so let's fly over. So we've gone over it and then turned and then intercepted this. However, that is and then direct LIFFY, so we didn't need to get back on track. We've gone over that and then straight to LIFFY. Anyway, we can switch. Channel, good evening. Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray, LIFFY 2 Echo, passing flight level 65, climbing flight level 90. Flight level 230, Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray. Okay, no need to out intervent because there's no restrictions. Oh, look, there we go. Managed to not double check the nav aids. There's Dublin. Ahead, so we should see it. So I'm just setting Gatwick's actual from the OFP. Passing flight level 100 aeroplane has increased speed, all the lights can come off, cabin's pressurising, 4 pumps, the punter's out. That's good, maintaining at least 500 feet, certainly trying to. Anyway, well, here we are guys, after our tour of the ground at Dublin. As always, thanks for joining. Thanks for your patience. If you want to see some more. Unicorn 122.8, thanks for the service. Have a great night. Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray. There we go. Right, so let's self-clear. Up to our cruise. 3-5. Set once. Pressurising twice. 3 times. Happy. Good. So we're on our way. So thanks for watching as always, guys. If you enjoy our little taxi trip and my haphazard attempts at getting the aeroplane set up and ready to go, more importantly getting the stream set up and ready to go, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to get notified of any upcoming streams in the future, I'll certainly be doing one tomorrow night. It might be Gatwick, it might not be Gatwick. Then please hit the subscribe and you'll get notified. At some point I'll get Concorde back on and we can have some fun hoofing that across the Atlantic. I will try and tighten up my procedures. I'd like to do it a little bit more properly, but the only issue is that I'm not really keen on doing all the flight engineers checks. The virtual flight engineer isn't quite there yet, if that makes sense. You know, you're not doing it like you would be crew. So I'm sure that'll come on, but it is fun to cross the Atlantic in 3 and a bit hours, and it's a bit of a challenging old bird to fly. certainly got to think quite far ahead. Although you have to think quite far ahead in this slippery beast. But certainly the fuel quantities are magnitude bigger. Anyway, I'm going to wait till 200. We'll do a 10 check. And then I'm going to put the descent forecast in, check the ATC, and the arrival in. Which in fairness we could have done on the ground. Because there's only one Willow arrival. Not sure what runway's in use. That from ATIS. Anyway, there is flight level 200. So diff pressure is 6.4. Cabin is at 3 and climbing steadily. Cruise is pumps on. So we've got some cloud coming up. The anti-ice on as we enter cloud and icing conditions. Fake looking cloud there. Just looks a little bit unnatural. Probably just pop straight through it. Yes. Right. So we've got a little bit of time. Get thinking ahead. Let's put Willow 3 Bravo in. Is coming back pretty spectacularly there. We'll step through that. But that looks relatively correct. There is usually a restriction at KIDLI, but seeing as nobody is... Oh, I suppose we haven't actually got TCAS. We'll stick to it. It's a long old leg at flight level 150. Descent forecast wise, we're going to be at 350, so we can put 310, 200, 100. If you've seen it before, you can put those in any order. You can put them in on any one and it figures it out for you. I'm not going to expect the pressure to change too much. In the London TME it is 6,000, so it's going to be 070 off my cheat sheet. Just in case there isn't any ATIS. And no chance are still on there, so I'll just get the descent winds off of the OFP. 10 is 304. 29. 200 is 297. 20. 100 is 317. And 9 knots. It's actually been a pretty nice day today. What excellent flying weather to be stuck at home for. There you go, 3 tons on arrival, which is still more than we put 2.3, 2.5, even with our interesting taxi. So you can see top of descent is just coming in at the 80 miles mark. But like I say, that's because of that long level segment. As the London TME is particularly busy. Well, not at the moment, it's not. Anyway, feel free to jump in and ask some questions, guys. It's been relatively quiet on the chat. So, it's below. these charts up. There you go, you've got Cambridge, Lakenheath, Milton, Sywell. Well, thanks for being here. And you can see there is KIDLI, and you can see the descent planning is to accept KIDLI, but that's for planning, not clearance purposes. So we could take that off, but I am tempted to just leave it in. Anyway, let's see how we go. London West is online. So he's going into Chivana. Somewhere sadly I have not been. But London is offline, Gatwick's online, Heathrow's online, Luton's online, Stansted's online. So I'm just going to have to put up with that level segment. Although, what's the traffic like? I'd be a bit more confident if we had TCAS working, which I don't think it is. Anyway, there's 300. Maybe descent has dropped a little. But then I wasn't watching to see if the wind just rapidly changed. There we go, it's picking up a bit. Well, thanks for joining, Rick. Sorry that my delay meant that you couldn't see the landing, but hey, it will still be on there. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. So, I think that's the Manchester Ship Canal. Looks pretty straight, doesn't it? I don't know, maybe it is the river. I don't know. Something watery. Shut up. Geography's not that good. So, in the pursuit of efficiency, let's get rid of that expectation at KIDLI. And no, the speed limit point is down there, so that shouldn't have been a 240 because the speed limit is Midhurst. D117, so that means 117 radial E echo 5 miles the speed limit point is, so that's fine. Let's do that and push the top of descent back, just because we can. Aeroplane seems to be flying pretty smooth if you ask me. I don't know what you guys think, but going enough seems alright. I'm probably not going to have time to do a turnaround tomorrow, but that would be a good test. You can see how far the top of descent has moved now. It's another 40 miles. Make a bit of difference. Half the arrival in. I'm going to cheat and use. I mean, in reality, I think you can call up London Information and. Or have they still got a Volmet? Gatwick's still pretty busy this evening. Actually, 21 arrivals, 23 departures. Checked. So the ATIS is 13652. I noticed that before. Oh no, maybe I have. You have noticed that you just have to swap those digits. Can we hear anything? Cannot. what I'm going to do is scribble down the frequency so I don't have to click on X-Pilot to irritate you guys. So approach is online. So tower under training, tower monitoring. And delivery, no ground. Sorry, I don't know what. I was sat down here, giving you guys the radio pedestal to look at. Anyway, this top of climb, 18 minutes in. Now, what I am going to try, now that we're stable. Yep, that's not disconnecting, is it? Which is good. Just a little bit of noise without it on 1. That was causing the AT to trip. It's feeling pretty pedestrian, having done a little bit of time in Concord, watching those clouds zip past when you're doing 1300 knots over the ground. Twice as high. So you can see that gets us into a nice position now. Depending on how busy it is, we might get vectored from Midhurst. To find out what runway really. I'm just trying to think. We will. Because if we're going in on 08, then it's Midhurst all the way on F2. Otherwise, oh, we can switch them over halfway. And just now we can't pop the ILS on, can we? So let's get Midhurst on here. Get Mayfield on here too. What did I just do there? So we can go direct to Midhurst from KIDLI, and then regardless it's going to be 117 outbound. Actually, as you can see from there, at Holly, so 17.5 miles off the speed limit point, but 22.5 DME. That's a left turn. We're actually just re-intercepting 105 radial, which is 285. You could fly that and then it's into the hold. Let's see if we can get the ATIS. To know what runway it's going to be. I am going to cheat. Sorry for the screen going black for a second. So the ATIS is Oscar. So 1850. 26 left. Level 70. 210 at 6. They're in between 170 degrees and 230 degrees. Have OK. Temperature is 21. G1 22. Seat of Oscar. Happy. And black screen again. Fly by before we descend. See a bit of drift. Oh no, we were technically on turn there, weren't we? Okay, so 26 left, we can prep for. Coming in from below. .7, although we aren't going to have that hold. Well, we don't think we're going to have that hold. We do one lap at best. Don't forget all that is relatively inefficient. So 26 left, cav okay, so 4 mile configure VMC. 10 miles we can pop 30 on, but that's more in case we get vectors because we're sort of going back on ourselves. It's not the best rule of thumb in that situation. The airplane thinks we're going to burn 0.6. I'm going to call it 63 for the sake of argument, just in case we get some shortcuts. So let's try that. So 26 left initial, 6 left final. So we can set 258. Oh, get the RA there. It's 396. Sorry, couldn't move the mic there. I thought I got it out of the way in time. So 396. Get on to the performance. 26 left. At 6. It's 21 degrees. 022. I think it's 63.0. Let's see what we get with 40. 4 knot headwind, 4 knot crosswind, so off between the two. And that's giving us everything available for Gatwick. Probably mentioned it before. The I think it's arrival 2. There you go, gives us the exit speeds now. What we don't get here is the actual distances for these. Oh no, we do, sorry. Being a complete idiot. We do get the distances, so we can, what I was trying to say was you don't always get this information. The aerodrome charts, you have to go and look for it and measure it. They are scale charts if you're printed. So Golf Romeo 2069. Break 1 is going to take us all the way down to the end. So Golf Romeo is the last high speed one. So we really want to try and make Golf Romeo, which is 2069. So bearing in mind we're not coming to a complete stop, break 2 should do us. Failing that we'll end up going down to the end, but it certainly seems reasonable. And if I get the aerodrome chart and the parking chart, there you go, you can see. Really useful to have that information and distances for those. So we'll be screaming all the way down here and hopefully vacating here, otherwise it gets a little bit slow down there. So rig 2, we missed our descent point. Let's clear ourselves down and set 10,000 out into vent because we just missed it. On our way. We should still have relatively decent high profile. The arrival gets you relatively low. So there's no heights on there, but the initial, have a look. It's bringing us into a hold for one lap, which we're probably not going to do. Outbound, and then go direct to Mayfield, where we are going to speak to Gatwick director. You can see that's all coded at 4,000. 2,000 is very low and very early there. So even if we get given a shortcut, we should still be okay, even though we've left it so late to descend. So drag required, that's fine, don't mind. Hardware throttles are at idle. So approach brief 09 set, deputy on the other side 258, which matches. Do you need to select that? Double check that that matches. 151 +5 -5, yes. At 15 and 20 we're going to check we're at 4 DME. India whiskey. The decision altitude is 396 and missed approach straight ahead to 3000. Sorry, climb to 3000 straight ahead to 2 or 1 DME, whichever is later. It's 1 DME inbound. Left turn heading 178. And as required, DME is 0 at the threshold, which always throws me in the States because it isn't often there. Passing 300. Airplane is depressurizing. Landing outset. The punters sat down in a little bit. So still just London West online. So 126. 825 is Gatwick, so I've got that pre-tuned. You can see I've got again the hardware Saitek radio panel, which is quite possibly the most overpriced bit of tat, but it's incredibly useful. I've got much respect for people that make these out of Arduinos and Raspberry Pis, because all it is a couple of rotary encoders, one switch, and then there's another rotary encoder, so you can choose what which input it goes to, and then 2 displays, and they're only 5 numerical characters, so it's only 2 decimal places, so you can't actually do 833. So, like I say, much respect for the people that do that right. But you can 3D print your own, well, I mean, you could just make all of these. I know people do. So yeah, that's us. It's, I like to say, it's relatively simple inbound to Gatwick. It's a little bit tedious when you're at 10,000 feet below this, over the top of Oxford, where KIDLI is. So you've got, if we zoom in here, I might have a look outside in a moment. Brace your ears. You have Rising One down here. There it is. Big old place. Here comes. You've got the lakes down here. London Oxford Airport is here. That many times. Abingdon is just beneath this cloud, and we've got Benson Shargrove over towards the nose. You've got the M40 out here, and the road going onto it. that is Oakley. How many times? So there's a micro-light strip, but it's a disused bomb airfield for the war. Big sort of power lines that go across that, so not ideal for forced landings. A little flyby. A bit of sideways going on there. Housing estate, which is a real shame, and the Ortho's really good. So yeah, Benson just off to our left. Can't see because it's that close underneath the nose, and then Charlegrove where Martin Baker live. There's Benson. Very distinctive. Oh God, sorry, controls are not. Ball. Let's just go outside, brace your ears. There you go, very distinctive, big curved man of Benson. And then right on the centre line out here is Charlegrove. Down here in the field somewhere is Chilton Park, or parachute drop zone. I think that's it, just down here. That's one. I know it won't show up on. Well, there's a couple of flashing lights there, so I don't know if that's included in Explain. And then down here somewhere is where the VOR is if anyone's flown out of Heathrow, which is not far from Benson. Disused airfield and the RR centre. It's quite distinctive from the air. Anyway, toward the English countryside. And actually the graphics are looking pretty good. I might need to pop the extended lights back on because you can see them just popping off here. They do look good. You know what? As we're getting down towards London, frames dropping down to 30. I mean, we've got, see the Isle of Wight out to our right, all that to cover with objects, and I have got ground shadows on which might impact. I just can't find it really sort of lacks depth without them. But you know what, frames at 30 I can deal with. You can see it's definitely it's object related because the CPU is working quite hard. GPU really is not, thanks to Vulkan. Massive difference. Certainly very, very happy with it, though, considering a CPU upgrade. Probably a new case actually as well. But squeeze a little bit more performance out of that would be good. Although Ryzen 4 is out on the horizon, which is going to make, I think, going to make a massive, massive difference. I've certainly been an Intel customer ever since my first PC in 2001, and I was very close. I was very close before this build for switching to a Ryzen, but it was just pipped ever so slightly in the gaming. And actually, it's probably the right decision because X-Plane just needs. X-Plane benefits from 4 cores. I don't know if you guys have seen the video that X-Plane Michael does from Force PC about core counts and how dual core it certainly drops off, and it doesn't scale particularly well once you get to 8, and then hyper-threading makes it worse as well. But so, actually adding all those extra cores does not make you know, it's not scalable for X-Plane. Once you get to 4, it's pretty much it goes up with yeah, they're really good. I mean, they give you a really good idea, which is why I get so frustrated with the hardware questions on the forums and on Facebook about, oh, what's the best, you know, you've got to make your own decision based on your own budget and what else you want to do as well. But you know what? I mean, I think the instructions per cycle, and I think the clock rates and the power, well, they're going to go up. Power's going to go down for Ryzen 4, and actually, if they start to get the single core performance up, then they're really going to blow Intel out of the water because they have stagnated completely. But yeah, certainly, like you say, Entity, I mean, Intel have, for the last few years, certainly pipped at the post. So I think we just have to wait and see, but nothing like a good bit of competition in the market to push innovation, because it's been very stagnant. I remember the good old days when you could, you know, double your performance every 2 or 3 years. So there's the ILS identing. Should probably be making radio calls, but I'm not. Nobody cares on Unicom anyway, no one listens. Approach is still online. Might as well give them a call. 225. So 26 left, initial, final. Put the charts up. Carrier Director, good evening, Ryanair 7 Delta X-Ray. Hello, Ryanair 7 Delta X-Ray is a 737-800 information Oscar. We've got 6 miles to run to Midhurst, expecting below 3 Bravo and ILS 26 left. Okay, landing 26 left, no delay, leave Midhurst, heading 0905, descent to flight level 80, Ryanair 7 Delta X-Ray. So let's go. Fine with that. So 095, no delay, and I think you can see what he's doing there. It's taking us on a downwind. So we've now turned. Let's get heading select. What I was going to do was re-emphasise that we could have created a point there. But actually, let's just go for that Mayfield waypoint. The legs page. Oh, go for that Mayfield waypoint. Like an idiot. It's actually the VOR, so let's pop that in. There you go. We can switch 117.9 to Mayfield. Approaching flight level 100. Nice long downwind. It'll give us something similar to this, but it'll probably be... we'll see. Right, let's go level change. Aeroplane is diving to make those restrictions. I do like this. I don't know if you guys have noticed, like the haze, the horizon could be a little bit less blurred. It's alright. Anyway, let's get this back to 240. Now that was because we got rid of that. We said flight level 70, Ryanair 7 Delta X-Ray. That's because it was trying to make that restriction for 40. Naughty. Okay, big on. Spectacular telling off. That was a lot of information. Eh? Oh. Maybe it's his first day. Anyway, I mean, we can see aeroplanes, we just can't see them on TCAS. Look, there's one taking off. Looking alright, isn't it? Or is it landing? I'll shut up, but you can see an aeroplane. So we are a little bit high, but don't forget, like I said, there's 100 checks. Phone's on silent, chaps. Try not to distract me in the chat. That's interesting, those stutters as the lighting changes, despite having a pretty good frame rate.
Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray, descent altitude 5,000 feet, QNH1022, fly heading 075.
Descend at altitude 5,000 feet, QNH1022, heading at 075 degrees, Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray. Okay, so he's giving us a nice tight downwind.
Jet 313, contact the tower, call and only 124.4225.
So we can disregard the path information now. Not going to help us. This is the M3 coming over Southampton way. No. Oh, shut up. We're downwind a beam. So is that the M20? Can't remember. Anyway, Brighton's out down there. So we might need a little bit of speed brake to bring some of this back. Infinite flight. Have you been on before? If you have, I'm sorry I don't remember better, but thanks for joining again anyway. And if you're not, if you're new, hi, welcome. Anyway, we identified the ILS, so we're happy with that. How are we doing weight-wise? Yep, we'll be fine. Get the legs on there. Light and sub, thanks very much. Well, thanks for joining. Hope you enjoy. I wouldn't go back to the start of this video unless you want to get a guided tour of Dublin. And there's probably not much I can say when it comes to planning the arrival for coming in here, other than let's get the initial approach. Now we don't even need to do that because we are under radar vectors, so get that as an idea for where we think we might get sort of vectored in, but equally depending on traffic we might end up a bit further out. We've got our 10-mile ring, the flap one. Infinite flight, I certainly haven't. Descend altitude 4,000 feet, Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray. Cool. Gonna let you guys continue chatting. What I'm gonna do is start bringing the speed back and see how we get on. We can update these restrictions. Get a rough idea of our vertical path. Now those track miles are a little bit far, we can't quite do that, so let's get rid of that one. And you'll see we are high. We could try and create a point here if we had a if we had an FO shared cockpit. We really need shared cockpit. We'd be able to get somebody else plumbing that in and getting a rough idea. But we've slowed to 220. And you can see how useful these fixed rings are. Situational awareness. Really helps pictorially versus just using the nav aids. Left heading 350 degrees, Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray. Get some speed brake out.
Sorry, was that for 86, Quebec Charlie? Correct, 61 Charlie Quebec. Sorry, could you say it again, 61 Charlie Quebec?
Yeah, please, get that heading 345, so fly heading 345 now, descend to flight number 7,
So maybe we're a little bit keen there.
Now we have a right, we have a stealth summer right, so we'll do that in 2 miles, and 347
Wow. We are just about inbound to Gatwick. I can't tell you exactly where we are. And we're pretty much on profile. So just a squeeze of speed brake there. Put us out and rearm it. Like we say, tune to identify the ILS, ident and course. 4,000. Left heading 290 degrees to establish ILS 26 left, Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray. So we are going to arm bore lock. We are probably going to go through the localizer. Going to set flap 1 and match speed. Continue left turn 250 and we've captured the localizer, Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray. Respeed, descend with the glide, Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray. So we need flap 5 anyway, because it's just a little bit difficult. We are on glide. Glide slope capture. We did go slightly through. Hello Stefan, good to see you. Made it in time for the good bit. And you can see that the speed is... We were still a little bit late on the flap there. So it is possible to do it. Tower call sign only, thanks for the service upgrade on Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray, bye. Tower, good evening, Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray. Continue approach, looking for the traffic, and actually we think we have in visual Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray. Oh no, maybe not. So, captured, we're not levelling off. 1520 is what we're looking for, 4 miles.
Yeah, if you take the right down runway 08, that's a whole short of room.
2500.
Okay, maybe that is the light aircraft. No, it is. Okay, that is it. God, he's doing everything, isn't he? Oh no, delivery's online. Oh no, it isn't. It was. Ortho's looking good. Cars are on the wrong side of the road. Ex-Europe's looking alright. Just in time for a nice sunset. 1520. No, still not there. Anyway, I'm happy that we are on the glide. Land 26 left, Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray. So 4 miles, gear down. Flap 15, match speed. 40ME 1520, yep, within 0.1. So speed brake armed, auto brake is set. Holding on the landing flap, gear down 3 green, start switch is continuous, recalls checked. We have been cleared to land. Will be nice.
1000.
So let's go flap 30 early. Match speed, VREF plus 5. Let's see how the mod handles. Disco by 500 feet. Now I'm hoping it's going to give me this in trim.
Approaching 26
Scenery's looking
left.
good, isn't it? All default. This is all default here. So let's go. Now that felt a little bit out of trim.
500.
You guys saw the nose drop a little bit there. 500 continue. Below.
300. Approaching minimums. 200.
Minimums. Continue.
100.
That rate of descent's a little bit high.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Let's find that ground. Up. So let's go a little bit of manual braking. 80 pluses can come away. And we'll be able to vacate slightly earlier than planned. 45 should do us.
3,000 feet remaining.
Saved us a few minutes, those shortcuts. Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray vacated. Taxi second right Juliet, hold short Sierra, Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray. And we'll clean up on the way back.
Approaching 08 left.
So second right, don't get it wrong. It's all the way down here.
German cargo 159, continue taxi. On Juliet, hold short of road.
Thanks, Spooky. We'll see how it was. I might get a landing rate plug-in. I'm not the biggest fan of landing rates, per se. So, let's get... Doing pretty good.
EG61 Charlie, Quebec, hello, continue approach, runway 26, number 2. Continue approach, number 2, 61 Charlie, Quebec.
So... Brakes up.
61 Charlie, Quebec, was that for us?
Let's clean everything up.
EG61 Charlie, Quebec, number 2, continue approach. No, sorry, you just put something in text for us, EG61 Charlie, Quebec.
Let's have a look. Brake temps.
Disregard that message.
Temps fine.
Yeah, no worries, EG61 Charlie, Quebec. Okay, subject 313. You seem to have gone the wrong way, so, okay, this is interesting. If you continue taxi on Juliet, left on Tango, and then left again onto runway 08.
So we were short Sierra.
Oh my god, I'm sorry.
Great, this is going to be chaos. Right, so let me just have a look at some of these questions. First, we're going to get...
Hold short of Tango.
Hold short Tango, Ryanair 7 Delta X-ray. Yeah, right. Oh, landing rate minus 90, bit soft. That was off of Project Fly, but Smart Car says 159. 159 is not bad.
German cargo 159,
Right.
taxi on a point Alpha 2, Juliet Papa Alpha Sierra.
So Buki, airport elevation is pretty irrelevant. Ooh. Hang on, uniform 1. Okay, that's fine. Tango's the next one. Yeah, so... So this is what happens, guys, when the guy at the front gets it wrong and everyone follows him. Great fun. Nothing damaged but pride. So Stefan, I don't know about the landing rate for brakes. I know that where are these guys going? I don't know about that. Zibo might be able to tell you how it's modelled. 24 via Juliet, you don't want us to start a Congo line going on here, do you? Right, so we can go all the way down. Those guys are feeling it's all good fun. And so Buki, right, so airport elevation. So this aeroplane will actually mark the ground on where it is, but it doesn't matter. You fly the approach. If we have a look at the approach chart, you fly the approach on the QNH, which means that the airport elevation of, in this case it's going to be the runway elevation of 196, is taken into account. The decision altitude is 200 feet above the runway, but QNH is the sea level corrected pressure. So when you touch down at the runway, the altimeter will be 298, and as you can see here, it's not far off. Sorry, 196 is what it will read. So adding those together means that your barrow decision height is 396, which is what we set. And that's how that works. And the decision altitude is the point at which, in cloud or bad weather, you have to be visual with the runway. Got to figure out what stand we're going to. I haven't even looked. Chatting and 2-4. Okay, so it's down on the southern side, second on the left.
What's our start? Subject 313, taxi start 22.
I hope that answers your question. It was a very quick and dirty response, but that's, like I said, we're not fussed about elevation. Not for the landing, we're not anyway. I'd need diagrams and stuff to explain the different datums. So, I mean, we could technically single engine taxi. Chris is online. You'll see that I haven't done anything with this mesh. Like I said, I was going to. Yeah, I hope that helps. I mean, it gives you an idea of what we do, but we only ever use radio for radio altitude minimums, or this decision height, which is in bold, not this decision height, which is information. You can see those two are different. So for a Cat 2, if you want to use the radio altimeter, you can. Set 102, or you can use the barrow for 296. For this, you have to use the radio altimeter. There is no decision height for a Cat 3B. You need a qualified aeroplane, crew, runway. We've been cleared all the way, so TNT can do one. And we're going to follow Juliet. I'm never quite sure. Yeah, Juliet is this one. Juliet should be. He's waiting for us, which is nice. This might scare him. Oh, anti-skid. Taxiing it like we stole it. So we should be second on the left up here. Not really much we can do apart from go as far forward as we can to let the big Queen of the Skies go past. Let's get the AP on. I guess he's not clean task. So it's not that first one. It's the first of the parallel, perpendicular. So we should be to the right of this guy. Where's this guy going? Is it work experience taxi day? Let the passengers have a go. That'll just about do us. It is a bit difficult with the stands with no, oh, he's just gone. A little bit difficult with no stand numbers. Oh, I didn't want to have to give it too much power, but you can see it's pretty uphill. Let's get the takeoff warning on, shall we? Hello. Might be a bit much. Could do with a marshaller. That looks pretty good. The heat haze isn't perfect, but it's a lot better than it was. It's quite good. Let's not go spanking into the terminal. Smash, that'll do. So, there we are on stand. 20 minutes later.
Stand 6-4 left on request 6-4 Charlie, Quebec.
They were 6-1 Charlie, Quebec, taxi, stand.
So, 2 blues, 1 red. Engine's dead.
6 left via Juliet.
Look for 20% N2.
6, whatever my call sign is, yeah.
Beacons off. More importantly, Zibo says, great landing. Yeah, right, I'll take that. Chocks. Doors. Stairs out. Ground power. Get the punters off. And that, gents, and any potential ladies, is us. Welcome to Gatwick. We have been here before. Terminate that flight leg. And anything else that's interesting? How much fuel we got left? Got 310, 330. There's 054 and 119. And we managed to use 0.2930. We could have done a bit of single engine taxi, but it's only virtual fuel. And here we are. And this is what I like about X-Plane. The lighting is, this is all default, and it's pretty good if you ask me. Like the floodlights look alright. The sky is okay. Like I said before, the lack of an accurate sunset time irritates me no end. But you know, like the reflections of the nav lights, even with the reflections on low, you can see that we've got some pretty good reflections on the jet. The CSLs, look, I mean, they're not perfect because the ground's sloping, but I mean, they're all right. And the fact that we've got VATSIM and it's all pretty good, that's interesting. So you notice how those nav lights are just on but no strobes. I guess that's picking up the data refs, or however it does it, a bit better. Maybe it's just an X-Pilot thing that's giving out the right data, and these are all different sims. Like that one, I think, has got this weird gear up. I'm told that's an X-Squawk box thing, wheels up. But whatever, like it's a little bit challenging for the immersion, but it's still pretty good. Anyway, this is us. Looks pretty good. Welcome to Gatwick. Not sure if we're going to come back here tomorrow or leave here tomorrow. Go what we're going to do tomorrow.
Unable to use frame 10 departure for runway 266. Can I use frame 166 departure?
Let's just turn that off for a second. I'll still hear them, but you guys won't. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. That was a pretty successful trip. Good beta and good Zibo RC. Everything performed pretty well, I think you'll agree. Don't think we had any major dramas, apart from the profile being a bit off when we got the direct. But that was me. I probably should have put that in level change first. Would have made it a bit smoother, but you know what it's like when there's only one of you. So, as always, thanks for watching. Have a good night. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Thank you if you have. If you haven't subbed, please jump on, and you'll get notified next time we do a stream. And if you've got any questions, come along. If you ask them early enough, we can do them while we're on the stand. The trouble is, a lot of things in aviation need visual aids, really. But there's plenty of resources out there. So, Buki, your question about elevation and decision altitudes, you could probably find some good diagrams online, and then I could amplify and ask sort of questions around that once you've got the sort of base idea of the concept. So, feel free to come along. Hi again, Nathan. And, yeah, you're welcome. Like, just ask away. But like I say, I can only give usually a quick and dirty response. And if you do find some resources, I can try and explain it. There's plenty I don't know. Don't forget, just a humble PPL. I have no type rating, no instrument rating, but I can probably explain the practicalities of what we should do. And hey, if I can get some of my jet driver friends on, They could probably do an even better job of explaining it than I can, but every little helps for your simming if you want to make it a bit more realistic. You know, things like you know, bugging up on departure, flap retractions, those sort of things, those operational things that will make things nice and smooth. I think the frames are really good. I think the lowest we probably got down to was like 20, and even with all the lights, you know, 40 on the ground in the cockpit, solid 30s, and as we came over London we had some drops down. I think I've still got the AP on. We had some drops down to about 30, but it's all pretty good, pretty stable, and I'm very happy with it. If it continues like this, it's ideal. If you guys, I tell you what, I'll just say thanks, and then I'll log off VATSIM. SM Delta X-Ray shutting down. Thanks for the service. Take care. See you again soon. Cool. Let's disconnect off that. And sorry, that's just me filing the pirate so I don't forget. Complete the flight on Project Fly. Include the taxiing. Get rid of a couple of things. And I haven't gone yet. I'm not going just yet. What was I going to say? I was going to bring up display settings. So there you go. You can see you've got my hardware config in the description. I haven't put the overclock back on, although I don't think that was causing the device loss errors, because I think I took it off to test. But I can tell you, hand on heart. Anti-aliasing I have tried on 8 times, and it doesn't make a huge amount of difference. But what it does do is hammer the GPU that little bit more. So I don't do that. I have got scenery shadows on, which doesn't seem to impact too much. World objects is on medium because X-Europe is a little bit intense in that regard. So until we do some tests with, you know, like some really thick weather to see if that hammers the GPU, I'm going to leave it all like this. Reflection detail, I think, hammers the CPU for not a huge amount because the reflections are pretty good. I've never tried world objects on high, but don't forget I've got X-Europe, which is, I think, a lot more dense in itself. So I haven't tried that. I think you need it on medium to get the street lights. So that's really the sort of practical lowest you can go. But that's what I've got so far. And as you can see, I think it does look pretty good. Don't forget it's 1080p, but it's ultra wide. So I think that's about 30% more pixels. I haven't got any weather add-ons apart from, well, I haven't got any visual weather add-ons. I've got Active Sky XP, but then there is no other. Oh, okay. Maybe I'll try that out because, but don't forget I've got a relatively meek CPU. But yeah, this is just vanilla X-Plane. I've got Active Sky XP. I use the the performance clouds because I actually think they look better, as well as being better on the frame rates. Allegedly, they're a bit softer. They're by no means perfect. And then these are the only plugins that I've got at the moment. SAM has been temporarily disabled. You can see Xpilot, Project Fly, a few other things. What's not shown on there is ground handling. No, not ground handling. Autogate. So Autogate is on. At Dublin we had the Aerosoft scenery, which used to hammer the frames quite a bit, but doesn't anymore. And that was fine. I've got Manchester, I've got a load of the other freebies that have been going. And so that's where we are. I should probably list those in the description, but they tend to change a little bit. I don't use Fly with Lua, and I prefer not to be honest. You know, like, you can get into quite a lot of you know, like sticky situations where things conflict. So I like to try and keep it as clean as I can, and I think it looks pretty good as it is. The only other thing I just think of then, the only other thing I do is I've got X Organizer, and so just to save on the loading time, I put the flight plan in, and it will only load up the ortho for the route. So you put the flight plan in, and then it only loads up the tiles. I think it's 2 tiles either side of your route. So we saw all the ortho, but if we went down to Cornwall, for instance, that would just be stock X-plane mesh. But that doesn't affect performance in the sim, because it certainly hasn't seemed to improve it a huge amount. But what it does do is save on the loading times and just reduces the error for potential, I think, for having to have too much loaded. So that's where we're at. So I will say goodbye now, but hopefully that's given you a bit of a better idea. Hope you enjoyed it. Look forward to seeing you again soon. Have good nights, and maybe we'll see you. Just to answer that question, Nathan, X-Europe is all of the objects. So if I just zoom up here, it's all of the overlays for anything that's outside of the airports. So all of these roads, all these streetlights, OSM data or equivalent. You can see that the cars on single track roads are on the wrong side of the road because it's European, but it will place the streetlights, it will place the auto gen, and it's certainly not perfect in the UK because there's not houses everywhere, but it's better than the default, and it's certainly a lot better for the roads. And yeah, just give it a Google, have a look, and you just download it, and it's just another layer of scenery. Yeah, it should. It affects the frames a little bit more than the standard scenery, but I think it's worth it if you keep it under check. So you said you might Entity might be able to have haze on high with X-Europe. I might be able to as well, but maybe on default you'd be able to have it on max. So, but I imagine that's because the default one has less objects. So you put it on max and you've got the same number of objects. That would certainly make sense to me. Goofy, thanks. Please sub and please like and have a look through the videos if you've got any interest. But anyway, thanks guys. I'm going to call it a night. Thanks for joining, as always. Look forward to seeing you again soon. Stay safe wherever you are. And hopefully see you tomorrow. Farewell for now.